Ever walk into a place, maybe a park, a building, even just a different room, and instantly felt a shift in your own mood?
Oh, definitely. It's like the location itself has a certain feeling, a vibe.
Exactly, a vibe. And today, we're diving into this fascinating idea, especially how nature might act as, well, our source calls it the mood bloom.
The mood bloom, I like that.
Yeah, it's this idea of nature being a kind of living mirror, reflecting our internal emotional state right back at us.
Which is really interesting because it suggests our experience isn't just us looking at a place. It's much more tangled up with what's going on inside us, right?
Totally. Our own emotional landscape actively shapes how we see the world around us. So our mission here in this deep dive is to really unpack this living mirror concept. We're drawing from this really insightful conversation between two people, Ava and Leo.
Right, the source material is a snippet of their dialogue.
Yeah, just a piece of it, but it gets right to the heart of this connection.
So we're basically listening in on them figuring out this relationship between us and the natural world, how we see it, and maybe how it reflects us back.
Okay, so let's jump into their initial thoughts. Ava mentions this recurring feeling she gets. Every time she visits this one place, she says, it feels different.
Different each time.
Yeah, almost as if the location itself possesses, and this is her phrase, a mood of its own. Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It really does. You know, this taps into something researchers call place attachment. It's that emotional bond we develop.
Right, with specific locations.
Exactly, through experiences over time. And these places can get sort of soaked in personal meaning, tied to certain feelings, which might explain why Ava feels that shifting mood, even in the same spot.
Then Leo, he playfully suggests, maybe the flowers are gossiping about us.
Okay, a bit whimsical.
It is, but Ava's response is a bit more profound. She says, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Sometimes it feels like they know more than we do.
That intuition, that sense that nature is somehow aware. It's quite common, actually.
You think so?
Yeah. We might not mean literal conscious knowledge, but it speaks to that deep, maybe even subconscious connection we have with the natural world. Perhaps a sensitivity to subtle cues we don't even consciously register.
And this leads right into Ava's core idea. She says, I think it's us. Our energy, how we see things. Nature just sort of reflects it back.
And there it is, the essence of the living mirror. She's basically saying our internal state acts like a filter. It influences how we interpret everything, how we experience the environment around us.
Yeah, psychologically that fits, doesn't it? Like mood congruent recall.
Exactly like that, where our current emotional state biases what we even notice, let alone remember.
So Leo picks up on the mirror idea and Ava refines it. She calls it a living mirror.
Living, not just reflective.
Right, and she asks him, you ever notice how when you're upset, even the most beautiful places seem dull, and when you're at peace, everything just glows? It's so true, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Think about a time you were feeling really low. Even your favorite spot, maybe your garden or a park, might have felt muted, flat.
Yeah, no vibrancy.
And then the opposite, when you're feeling good, the world just seems brighter, more alive. Colors pop.
Leo gives this really relatable example. He talks about a rough patch he went through.
Okay.
And he came to the same place, and he said everything felt gray. Like even, get this, the trees were holding their breath.
Wow. That's a vivid image. It really paints a picture of how our inner state can just bleed onto our perception, can it?
It really does. It
Yeah.
powerfully shows how our emotions can basically project onto our surroundings,
Yeah.
shaping the whole experience, like our internal weather dictating the external landscape we see.
Internal weather. Good way to put it.
And then he contrasts that feeling, that grayness, with how he feels now on this visit. He says, and today, it's like the whole world's smiling.
Ah, the contrast.
So Ava suggests, okay, maybe it's just because they're happier now. But then she adds another layer. She wonders if maybe nature is reminding us that joy was always here. We just had to remember how to see it.
Now, that's a fascinating distinction. Is it just reflecting our current mood, or is nature kind of holding a potential for certain feelings, waiting for us to tune in?
Right, like the joy is inherent in the place, but we need the right tuning to perceive it.
Maybe it's a bit of both. Our internal state makes us receptive. It tunes us into certain aspects of the environment that resonate with how we feel.
Yeah, then the conversation shifts slightly. Leo wonders if nature itself feels emotions too, like real feelings.
A big question. Does nature feel?
Yeah, Ava admits, well, maybe not like humans do with a brain and all that. but she suggests it reacts and senses with something deeper, maybe through connection.
Connection. Okay, so moving beyond just a passive mirror, suggesting a more active role for nature.
Seems like it.
The idea of connection as a way of sensing. It hints at that incredible interconnectedness within ecosystems, doesn't it? How changes in one tiny part can ripple out.
Yeah, and Leo brings up a specific example. He mentions the mycelium network thing.
Ah, the Wood Wide Web, yes.
Exactly, as an example of this hidden communication. And Ava just runs with it. She uses these beautiful phrases: hidden conversations, invisible empathy.
The mycelium network is a perfect example. That vast underground web of fungal threads. It lets plants share nutrients, even send warning signals about pests or drought.
It's amazing.
It really is. It's solid, tangible proof of deep connection and communication happening right under our feet, totally hidden from our normal view.
Which then leads Leo to ask this really profound question. He says, so if nature mirrors us, does that mean when we hurt the world, we're hurting ourselves too?
Oof. Yeah, that's powerful. It takes this concept and immediately draws out the ethical, the practical implications.
How so?
Well, if our well-being really is tied up with the well-being of the natural world, this living mirror idea suggests that. Well, damaging the environment isn't just an external problem. It's self-harm in a very real sense, hurting our own health, our own happiness.
Ava completely affirms this. She says, yeah, I think we forget. We're not just visitors here. We're a part of it.
Not visitors, part of it.
Like one thread, she says, in a huge web. And she adds that it just feels inherently wrong when we tear it apart.
That web analogy is perfect. It captures the interdependence. You damage one thread, you weaken the whole structure.
Right.
And environmental damage, well, it has consequences that spread out, often in ways we don't expect, hitting the whole system, including us.
But she also points out the positive side, that every kindness we show, every moment we choose to care, it ripples out.
Which is hopeful. It suggests it's reciprocal. Our positive actions can actually boost the natural world, help foster a healthier, more thriving environment for everyone. A positive feedback loop.
Then Ava offers her philosophy for today.
Okay.
Be like a flower, rooted, but reaching for the light.
That's lovely. Grounded yet aspiring.
And Leo immediately adds his, let's say, more practical take.
Which is?
And avoid getting eaten by deer.
Huh. Right. The blend of the poetic and the pragmatic. That really sums up our relationship with nature sometimes, doesn't it? We appreciate the beauty, the deep meaning, but we also have to deal with the immediate realities, like deer.
Exactly. Then Ava sums up the core idea again. The mood bloom Pierre.
Yeah.
It's real. Nature's living mirror. It's always there, showing us where we are if we're willing to look.
And that brings us right back to the main theme, doesn't it? Nature's potential to give us insights into our own inner world. But we have to be willing. We need the awareness. We need to observe, to reflect.
Leo seems to get it at this point. He has this realization that places like this, they aren't just for escape.
No. What are they for then?
He says they're to remember ourselves.
To remember ourselves.
And Ava builds on that. She suggests their purpose is also to heal, to grow, to bloom again. It really speaks to that restorative power we find in nature.
Absolutely. Nature isn't just a passive background. It can be an active partner in our well-being, our emotional health, our psychological growth. It offers space for reflection, for healing, for blooming again, as she says.
The conversation wraps up with Leo thanking Ava for bringing him there. Ava teases him a bit, calls him a sad little houseplant she rescued.
Ah, playful.
Yeah. And they decide to explore more. Let's go see if the forest wants to talk too. Leo's final line is, lead the way, flower whisperer.
It's a nice ending. It highlights how valuable sharing these experiences in nature can be. How these interactions deepen our connection, not just to the place, but to ourselves and each other.
So this chat between Ava and Leo, it really illuminates this dance, doesn't it? Between our inner emotional world and how we experience nature.
It really does. It strongly suggests nature isn't just, pretty scenery. It's dynamic, a living mirror reflecting that mood bloom back at us.
And what I find really compelling is that idea that it's not just one way.
Right, not just nature reflecting us.
No. Our actions, our feelings, they influence the world, and the world influences us. It's this continuous feedback loop.
A constant interplay.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Consider a place where you maybe consistently feel a certain way. A park, a room, a street.
Pay attention to that feeling.
Yeah. What might that feeling tell you about your own internal mood bloom when you're there? Maybe it's worth revisiting a place that means something to you.
And really pay attention this time.
Exactly. Pay attention to that living mirror effect. See what it shows you.